Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. All right, don't forget to send in your numbers, please.
Yes, I saw the thing.
ASAP. Charleston, good morning. Kim, good morning.
Morning.
All right, Kim, I know you have sent in your numbers, so I appreciate that. Charleston, I'm just going to check on you real fast. Charleston, you are good. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. All right. How is everybody?
Good, thank you.
Okay. We are right on time. We're going to see the waiting room. We're going to let a bunch of people in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
How are you?
All right, let's get started. I want to welcome Alicia to the room.
Hi, Alicia.
Hello, how are you?
I didn't ask you permission for this, but can I ask you to introduce yourself for a second?
Yeah, my name's Alicia. I came from Metro Brokers. I've been in the business for about 16 years, but fairly new to Georgia. I'm originally from Boston, and I'm excited to be here.
Glad you're here.
Me too.
Welcome.
Alicia has been with our company for about 2 days, and she's already got one person officially attracted to Keller Williams and one more that's about to come.
Yes.
Woohoo!
So this is just a reminder to everyone that, let's just assume I have talked to 2,000 or 3,000 agents in my career about their business and about their goals, and I could probably count on one hand how many are on track. And what that means is that everybody needs what we have. The question is not whether they need what we have. The question is, do they value what we value, right? Do they think the way we think? Are they entrepreneurial? They're business savvy? Are they learning based? Are they tech savvy or willing to learn how to become tech savvy, right? So there's a lot of people that need our help right now. Let's just quickly go through the calendar for the rest of the day. Today we have a mastermind for what I'm calling the emerging group. The emerging group is, let's say, people that have sold between 4 and 10 houses per year in the past, or that's currently kind of your bracket, if you will. Okay. Everyone is able to come to this session, but assuming that we have people that are in that class, I want to keep the conversations to that kind of group. Yesterday we had 2 agents at the growth one that was basically 11 units and more, 2 agents that weren't really in that category. So we kind of mastermind with them on topics that were most relevant to them. As soon as we had somebody come into the room that was for that mastermind, we kind of shifted gears a little bit. And we went back to focusing on, what was relevant to the growth mastermind. So today we're going to be focused on the emerging group, and that's from 12 to 1 o'clock. We also have a PC coffee with me at 3. And then we're going to do a what is profit share class from 3:30 to 4:30. So my goal for this is really just to give you an overview of profit share. We're probably not going to go like too detailed in terms of like this level gets this percentage and this level gets that percentage. I do want you to conceptually understand it. And most importantly, I want you to have an awareness about it so that you can have, let's just say you can have an intelligent conversation about it, right? So there's people that don't understand the difference between profit share and revenue share. There's people that don't understand how it's calculated. There's people that don't understand what the secondary results of that kind of product or system, what happens as a result of that stuff. So I want to cover a lot of those bases. My goal for the end of that class is to give you number one, top of mind awareness. Number two, to just let you know that this opportunity within our firm exists. And at that stage, you can decide when, if you're going to dedicate any time to those efforts. We know that success comes from time on task over time, right? So, if let's say you're digging a ditch and you dig, 3 shovelfuls every day and you don't feel like you're making much progress, eventually you're going to have a big hole, right? Okay. And then don't forget about the 11 o'clock Market Center Zoom, the 2 o'clock Facebook Live. I think they got all the kinks figured out of that one. Dick Dillingham is the guest for that. Dick Dillingham is I don't know exactly what percentage he owns, but he's one of the regional owners for Northern California and Hawaii, for the Keller Williams Northern California and Hawaii region. He is one of the most, I believe he was the very first master faculty of Keller Williams, and he's one of about 50 people that are on that in that group in the entire Keller Williams network. And don't forget the, let's see, links, a couple links. Number one, don't forget the link to register for a one-on-one. When we first sent that out, I had, there was a little glitch with the scheduling system, and so it didn't offer any times for like 2 weeks. We fixed that. So if I don't have a meeting with you over until like 2 weeks from now, go back into that link and schedule something prior to that. There's a bunch of opportunities. And for those who have not sent in their numbers, I sent out a link this morning on WhatsApp. I'm going to send that link every Sunday. And I really, 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 really need the results by today. I'm expected to report to the leadership team, and my coaching call is today at 1. So I need to be able to show that I'm working and my team's working. So please send those numbers. The reporting is for last Tuesday through this past Sunday. Okay. And just a reminder, if you have, like, let's say you have a pending and you've already reported it and the deal is still pending, don't report that as a new pending. Just say that this is all for new appointments, new people in the database, new listings, new closings. Cool? All right. Tell me something good. What's going on in everyone's world?
I got up and did exercise this morning. Yay!
Nice.
That doesn't happen all the time, but I made an effort to get up.
Very nice.
I got a call yesterday from the mother of one of my son's friend, a friend of my son's, and I said, "What's going on? What's going on?" She's not a real good friend of mine. We just, because our kids grew up together, they, we had things in common. And she called and said, "Hey, we're moving to Dallas, and we want to interview you. We're interviewing 3 other people." So my battery is very low. I thought it was plugged in. Anyway, so I said to her, who is my competition? Like in a football game or a baseball game, I want to know who my competition is.
Yeah.
And she told me, and 2 of them, she said, one is the wife of one of Mike's friends, and the other is the husband of somebody in a support group I have, because her son's in the Army now. And she said, he just got back into real estate, so I really don't know. And she said, could you tell me what they've sold? And
wow.
So I pulled it up, and so one of them has in the last year had 5 listings, 4 have sold. I was just doing as a listing agent, not everything.
Okay. And
then the other one, the husband of somebody in her support group, he has a like 135666 number, license number, but he hasn't been. And so I looked back over 2 years, and he hasn't listed anything. And then she told me the third person who would, she and her team had already been there yesterday. And so I looked hers up. I looked her, because she owns the company. And so I looked up her whole company, what they sold last year.
Hey, Kathy, hang on 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I really
Yeah, just put it.
Well,
The
I'll
joys
speak
of
up while
working
Bill's
from
gone.
home.
I could speak up while Bill's gone. I had a closing yesterday. He knows about it, of course.
I'm so
But I
sorry.
had a close.
I hate to make you repeat that, but Kathy, could you repeat that? Actually, let's hear.
I think her computer died. She's gone.
Okay.
She is.
No, she can't.
Sorry,
I heard
battery died.
the last thing I heard you say is that one person had about 5 listings or 4 or 5 listings, and the other person did not have any.
Okay, and then the third one, she owns the company, and that person had been there with her daughter-in-law, and so I didn't know how to look, both of them. I wanted to do it fast, so I just looked up all the residential listings for the office in the last year, and I had them beat my listings. I had the office beat by 1. So she was like, "Oh."
So you did that while you looked that
While I was
stuff
on
up
the
while you
phone
were on the
with her.
telephone with her.
Yeah, because she was asking me.
Yeah. So what was her reaction to all of that?
She said, "Oh wow, that's pretty special that you've sold more than any of them, plus the whole company." So, I mean, I did look while I was on the phone with her. I looked up lots, land lots, and commercial stuff, and they do have commercial listings. There's a big difference in commercial and
Yeah. I'd stick to what she's got. Let's compare the apples to apples.
right.
And also I like that. It's a little like right on the line if they don't bring it up.
Well, she asked.
She brought it
That's
up.
what Carrie said. She said, I don't know what they've sold. I know this one lady is very nice. We've had supper with them, but it's important to me what they've sold. And she said, "Is there any way you can tell me?" And I said, "Yeah." So I looked it up. But Carrie said, "I think that might have been over the line." I said, "She asked me." And so instead of saying, she kept talking. And so I had the phone down, I had the speaker on, and I was, listening to what she was saying, writing stuff down. And then I thought, well, I'll just pull it up right now.
I think that's a great idea. The question, let's just say, for example, your numbers were not as good as the competitors.
Yeah.
Another way to deal with that is to go into their actual sales and see what their list price to sales price ratio is, or to see how many homes that have expired, or see like what percentage of listings are actually selling and if that's better than the market. And you could also do average days on the market. So let's say that they had 10 listings, but their average days on the market were 45, and you had 6 listings, but your average days on the market were 11. I would say you've got better stats.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do not be afraid to share that stuff. And then the other question you can ask is, I'm just curious, is there anything, as I'm looking up these statistics, is there anything that's particularly important to you? Right?
Yeah.
Because I always never liked that comment about like, well, I want the neighborhood expert. Like, what's that got to do with it?
That's right.
So the neighborhood expert's got 3 listings in here. So they're going to be trying to sell these other people's listings instead of your home. Like, and that's why we have to go to our clients and use an educational approach to say, look, the reason why that person has more listings in here is because they happen to know more people that used to live here. Right?
Right.
That doesn't have anything to do with anything. Right? Let's talk about marketing plans and strategic pricing and what I'm planning to do to get this thing sold. And that also presupposes, guys, that you have something written, right? So you would say to a seller, these are the steps I take. Once I get your listing, I work through this checklist, right? The checklist could be flyer, Facebook ad, virtual tour, retargeting, whatever it may be, whatever you do, calling all the neighbors, hosting an open house, dropping off door knocking, whatever it is, this is what I do. And let's say that there's another agent, let's say Kathy and I are competing for the listing, and Kathy goes in and interviews, and she doesn't go through that amount of detail, or she doesn't pinpoint what she does. They're going to assume she doesn't do what I do.
Right.
Right. So it's really important that you ask what it is that you are seeking in a realtor, so that you can get the answer and then tell them that's what you do. Right. And if the seller wants you to host 2 open houses a month instead of 1, and you're willing to do that, or you're willing to go find somebody to help you do that, then tell them you'll do it and get the business. Does that make sense?
I have a question for relates to,
Yeah.
so Kathy, you have a lot of listings and stuff like that. But what if that same question was posed to somebody like myself who didn't have the experience, or haven't been here very long in Georgia? So how would I answer that question? I guess to Bill's point, I guess I focus more on my
I don't know.
I would focus more on my marketing plan, I guess, then.
I think it has something to do with, like, I'm a new agent and I have all this time to dedicate to selling your property, and I've got a team of like 200 agents behind me or something like that.
You could say, I'm working with my productivity coach to make sure that we employ this strategy, this marketing strategy, and this is what I do. So, and you can also spit out the report. A couple of days ago, I posted that picture that had the local market stats from Chartmasters versus the individual versus the Roswell agent stats.
Right.
I can somebody just copy that and repost it for the people that have joined in the last week or so, just at some point today. That is really telling. I mean, we're selling homes in Roswell twice as fast as other agents are, right? And we're selling them for a larger percentage of the list price. So again, then it just goes back to, you might say, hey, well, let me pull a little bit of data on those people, and I'll get back to you. And then you can call me and say, okay, pull the data. I don't know what to do. Right.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's people don't buy what you are selling. They buy why you are selling it. Right. And so if you communicate, there's a YouTube video that is really, really, really good. And it's called, it's written by, or it's a guy named Simon Sinek who wrote a book called Start With Why. And he explains that the way that companies market themselves, the vast majority of marketing is done from the what, right? We do this, we sell beautiful cars. They are very gas efficient and blah, blah, blah. Would you like to buy one? Right. And that's the way marketing has been for like the last 40, 50 years. Apple was kind of one of the first companies to do it the opposite way, right? We believe in, bucking the status quo. And as a result, we make very efficient computers, which happen to be beautiful. Would you like to buy one? That sounds a lot better. So if you go into a listing presentation and you're like, I sell the most homes in the neighborhood, I win all these awards, do you want to work with me? That's one pitch. If the same person goes into the neighborhood and says, the reason my company exists is to help people build wealth through real estate, and I believe that the way to do that is to work with a lot of local citizens and help them build wealth, and here's a little bit of my track record, and I just so happen to sell the most homes in the neighborhood as a result, would you like to work with me? That speaks to people more. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So tell them why you're doing what you're doing. Get to the root of it all. That's why we talk about the big why. It's not just to remind you about what your big why is, but it's to tell the consumer, right? because you need to separate yourself from, if the other agent is throwing statistics at them about like, I'm this, I'm that, that doesn't matter. The goal is helping the consumer get what they want, not padding your statistics. So you got to ask more questions specifically about what the consumer wants so that you can express to them how you genuinely care about that, right? And then go do what you've told them you're going to do. I don't know why I'm so dark in this picture right now.
Yeah.
Alicia, did you have a comment?
No. I was wondering why you were so dark in the picture too. You kind of were fading out there.
Yeah, you probably didn't have your computer plugged in or something, because it just went from light to dark.
All right, I want to read you a couple statistics, guys. Oops.
Can you see if there's anything printed on it?
I want to read you guys a couple statistics, okay? In FMLS, as of today, as of this morning, in the last 7 days, there's been 2,058 new listings in the last 7 days. 1,803 of them have gone under contract, and 2,044 homes have sold in the last 7 days. I kind of think the statistic is a little bit more it's got more like, oomph to it if you do it like in the last 3 days or 24 hours. So in the last 3 days, okay, there's been 798 new listings. 893 of them have gone under contract, and 999 homes have sold in the last 3 days, y'all.
Wow.
Thank you.
In the last 24 hours, it's 343 new listings, 313 new pendings or homes that have gone under contract, and 534 homes have sold in the last 24 hours, according to FMLS. Okay.
Wow.
So if anyone is,
And I will say that doesn't cover through the end of March, because they haven't, finished updating all of the solds for March yet.
Yeah. So that's just
as an FYI.
reporting. So the stats are probably even better. So if anyone is talking about not buying, right, hesitating to buy, and they don't believe anything's happening in the market, or they're hesitating to sell and they want to take their home off the market and they don't believe there's any action in the market, tell them, hey, would it surprise you to know that, in the last 3 days, 999 families have bought and sold homes? There's been 999 closings. So I hear you. I completely would expect the same thing. But the data says that there's a lot of activity in the marketplace. And we know that the homes that go onto the market right now are selling, and they're selling quickly, right? And we know that from a buyer standpoint, interest rates are probably lower than they're going to go in a long time, right? So in the Google Drive, there's some scripts that say they're titled like Shift Pivot, I think is what they're called. And it has a couple of the likely scenarios you might be dealing with through the coronavirus stuff, and some scripts that are specifically designed around those topics. So I would encourage each of you to really, really read those over and over and over and over and over again, okay? Don't let them off the hook that fast. If somebody says, oh, I want to take my home off the market, ask them, tell me more about that. I'm curious. Can you help me understand why, right? Trump and all the rest of them are saying the next 2 weeks are going to be awful, right? There's going to be a lot of hospitalizations. Unfortunately, there's most likely going to be a lot of deaths, and it's going to be a little scary over the next 2 weeks. They're not going to get a higher price in 2 weeks than they would get today. Get your home on the market. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of questions do we have? What kind of thoughts do we have right now?
It's not a thought, but I have something to share that I did this morning.
Great.
I have a client who I think yesterday I posted the book she gave me that she wrote. And while I was talking to her, she said she wanted to get into life coaching yesterday. And so through networking, I know a woman who's actually a financial coach. And so I messaged her this morning on Facebook and I was like, hey, Ellen, would you be interested in talking to my client, blah, blah, blah. And while I was writing her, I just got this idea and I'm like, so I asked her, I'm like, Ellen, would you like to do a Zoom? You know, right now people have to like tighten their finances and you can
Love
be
it.
the financial expert and I can be the real estate expert. And while I was on here, I just saw a little flash of her message and she was like, I love both of these ideas. Let's brainstorm. So I'm super excited to be able to offer that to people.
I
Right
love
now.
that. That is such a great idea. I think you should do it for like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days from now,
Uh-huh.
and get somebody on Fiverr to design some kind of cute little flyer, cost $5,
Okay.
little colorful, you know, modern looking flyer, send
Mhm.
it out to all your database, put it
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
See how many people you can get into that thing, and just say, hey, we got lots of chaos going on. Lots of people have, I'm sure, lots of questions. Please tune into the Zoom. We're going to talk about the markets.
I'm super excited to do that. I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner, but I guess every opportunity presents itself when it does.
One thing, I believe it was Robert yesterday talked about on the call was, first of all, everyone needs a Zoom account. I'm not gonna ask you to identify yourselves, but if you don't have a Zoom account, you got to get one in the next 20 minutes.
I'm gonna buy one today.
I have one.
Get a personal Zoom account and start
that's
using it. Play around with it. You can do Zooms that are less than, I think, what is it? Less than 40 minutes. Sessions are free. You don't even have to pay for it. I got a upgraded version that allows me to have like 100 people on the call and have unlimited calls, and I paid $150 for the whole year. So it's like $15 a month if you just do it month by month. You got to have a Zoom. Practice sharing screens. Practice recording, not recording. Practice the settings. This is a tool of the future. This is like email, basically. You got to figure out how to use it. I would work today. I'm going to give everyone an assignment. I want you to reach out to one person that you haven't spoken to in a while and do a Zoom with them. Not just a phone call, do a Zoom with them. Let them see you. Okay? Doesn't have to even be a client. Just have a Zoom conversation with somebody and ask them our favorite script of the last 3 weeks, which is, how are you and how can I help you? Right? Don't lead with real estate right now. Lead with care. Hi, how are you doing? Is there anything that you need help with right now? Oh my gosh, there's like, my wife has a friend in just outside of New York City, and she has like 6 or 7 siblings, and almost, I think all but one has coronavirus, and the mother has coronavirus, and the cousin has coronavirus. I mean, this thing is.
Oh my God.
You got to ask how they're doing. The way you react with your clients to this situation will speak volumes about the care and your brand that you have. I know it's not about branding, but it is about branding. Okay.
I think so. I think it all goes hand.
I'll also give you one more assignment. This will be fun. Okay. I want you to do a virtual showing, and I want you to pick one room in your house and record yourself selling that one room in your house. Okay?
That means I have to clean up.
What?
It means I have to clean up.
Well, is every single room in your house dirty?
No, it's not really dirty. It's just everybody's home, so there's stuff everywhere.
This isn't going on the internet. It'll just stay in our little group. But what I want you guys to do is get, particularly with the fact that video is going to be so critical in the future. I mean, it already is, but this is just compounding it. You're going to have to get comfortable in the camera. And so I want you, like, show your personality, right? You can even say, hey, and we haven't made this bed in a week. Look at this, like, have some fun with it. But I want you to get comfortable in front of the camera, and I want to see your personality come out a little bit as you're showing off a space in your home. Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Post them on our group today. These are all skills. I mean, we've been in the business a long time. Many of us have been in the business 15, 20 years. We're having to do things differently now. And we're all like, I've never been on video so much in my entire life. But if I was not on video, right, if I was trying to do, if this was the way I was teaching, it wouldn't be as captivating, right?
Yeah.
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 Y'all aren't feeling it right now, right?
No.
No.
Right. So get on video. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Muted.
There you go again.
Kathy, were you saying something?
You're muted.
I can hear him.
There you go. Oh no, what happened?
I think Kathy's been talking. Let me see if I can't unmute her. All right. Unmuted. Go ahead, Kathy.
My internet connection was unstable.
Were you saying something?
My internet connection was unstable. I have a hard time with video.
Yes.
Well, you guys ever seen that meme that said, "What happens if the baby was trying to crawl, and after they tried to, or they're trying to get learn how to walk, and they tried and they fell down, they tried and they fell down. What if after like 25 or 50 attempts, they're like, this walking thing ain't for me, right? We're gonna have to figure out how to do it, right? Your people love you for you, right? Just show you. They're used to you. They're used to the way you move your body. They're used to the way you move your face. They're used to your smile. Just show it off.
So being brand new to this, I haven't gone through a listing thing yet. I haven't gone through any of this yet. I don't know what a listing video is supposed to look like.
I can send the Leslie Peters one to you. Leslie she posted it last week, and I have that.
Oh, would you copy that to the group?
Yeah.
So Heather, an example of that would be it's as if you were selling, like, let's say your kitchen to a consumer, right? You might say, oh, it's got an open kitchen to the family room. We got a 6-burner stove, got a mounted microwave. Look at this big, we've got this undermount sink where you can store your cleaning supplies, or we've got these, slow closing, cabinet doors and that kind of stuff. Just go into a little bit of detail. Oh, here's a little walk-in pantry, or, here's where the pantry's at. Oh, we've got some an updated lighting fixture. It doesn't have to be perfect. What we're trying to do is just get used to being yourself on camera.
Okay. And so I guess part of it too is like, am I supposed to be shown, or are you just hearing my voice as I'm showing?
I would probably have the camera out like this as I'm doing. So you would say like, okay, well, here's the door to the restroom, and here's the, door to the outside, right? So you're seeing me and you're seeing the stuff. Make sense?
Okay.
Ooh. Heather, I'm not going to be doing it that way. I'm going to be doing it like a photographer would go in and do a virtual, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be showing.
But Bill, can we ask somebody to make a video for us, like, so they can hold the phone?
Yeah, whatever. That's the beauty of this business, guys, is we get to be our own boss.
Okay.
We get to dictate exactly how we want to do it, right? I almost got motion sickness myself just doing that, but just do something that feels good,
I'm going to do it at my neighbor's house because we're taking photos today. The listing is going live on Friday.
Cool.
So I'm going to use his place because it's spotless.
Good. That's great.
All right, one last reminder, remember that according to DTD2, we are supposed to be calling people in our database with the last name that starts with a Y, as in yellow, and a last name that starts with a Z, as in zebra. And anyone in your database that has a last name that starts with F, as in Frank, should be getting a text from you this week. Okay? the purpose of this is, number one, to keep it strategic and structured. And the other tip is that it prevents, or it should prevent, what's called call reluctance, right? So you say, I don't want to call that guy because like we kind of had a weird, ending to our transaction 3 years ago, and just call them. Just call them. They're either going to love the fact that you reached out and ask you a bunch of questions about how life and business is, and you get to do the same, or they're going to say, Bill, you were a total ass and I never want to hear from you again. And then you don't have to spend any more money on postage. You don't have to ever see the guy's name again in your database. Just move on. It's kind of like, if you're going to dump me, just dump me. Okay. I don't like this middle stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I got an email address yesterday, and I got a profile, so I can actually find out where my database is and start putting stuff in it today.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Congratulations. All right. If you have not sent me your numbers, please send me your numbers. Don't make me track you down, okay?
If we already sent them to you,
I got
we
them.
don't have to. Okay.
Yep. If you have not, you know who you are. Just send them, please. Okay?
Okay.
And one last thing I'll leave you with. Remember that our job is to find our clients' need. We've got to figure out what they need. Okay? Get specific. Don't be afraid to ask them another question. If they say, I want to be in a better school district, what does that mean to you? If I need a bigger backyard, what does that mean to you? I need to be in an area close to the supermarket. Okay, is 5 minutes close? Do you want to walk to the supermarket? Do you want to be 20 minutes from the supermarket? I need to know more than that. Cool?
Got it.
All right, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.